Hello, hello. Welcome back to the weekly Monday Motivation Podcast, No More Excuses. I am your host, Sandy Ballard, the Badass Business Coach. And yes, I am the Badass Business Coach because I help you find your badassness. I help you realize how much of a badass you are so you can do more, be more, and achieve more. If you're new here, check out my website, badassbusiness.coach. And thank you. Thanks for everyone being here and for listening and for sharing this podcast on your social media outlets and for connecting with me. And I don't know if it's just the universe or it was having Cody Butler on my podcast a couple weeks ago, but a new milestone beat May of 39 and some change, 3,900 downloads this month. August was 4,245. So hell yes. Thank you. And even if you were a part of Cody's network, you're here now. You're hooked, right? Thanks again so much for being here and for continuing to download and listen and help yourself and others personally and professionally. So this is all about investing in you. So hopefully I'm providing value to you so you will continue to download and listen. And yes, last week I got deeper into Mr. Cody's tip about getting your communication right. That was his second tip. The first one was mindset. The second one is communication. Get it right. And last week I challenged you to check yours, to listen to yourself, how you talk at or to people. And we talk at people a lot. And how others, staff, clients, partners, um, anyone around your business, how they uh, talk about what you do, what your company does. Was it in line? I doubt it was 100% in line because we're always needing to check in on our messaging. It's just now through all of this crazy pandemic, we've been able to take time and we've needed to take the time to check in on our communication because things are different. This shitstorm of a continuation of a roller coaster ride of whatever has caused a lot of changes. So whether it's written or verbal, internal or external, what's being said and how. And of course, I heard my one client call, not my one client, I had one client call that she listened into her staff, but not in a creepy or micromanaging way. She is out and about in the office regularly, but I had her listen as people were on the phone and how they were talking to customers. And she did say they were in line and it sounded great. And all of her staff takes the DISC profile test. I'm certified DISC trainer. So we talk about that a lot. We discuss how the dynamic of the office and the energy has changed since the staff has changed from all of this because some people couldn't come back because of their health or weren't able to because of the changes in the office structure. And so how has office dynamic and energy changed? We've been discussing that and looking at how she's communicating with them and a couple of the newer people. And another person actually messaged me and admitted they really hadn't been communicating much at all. They weren't sure how because this pandemic had really taken a toll on this person's business and mentality, mindset. And they just sort of shut down. I mean, I get that. A lot of people were all in. I talked about this a while back. Some of the other coaches and just people I know were all in at first. How can I help? Blah, blah, blah. And they admitted they needed to back the truck up a little bit because they could tell they were overcompensating for their own freaking out, right? We were all sort of just freaking out. Some people went all in and some people backed up. And this person just wasn't sure now how to get back to the communication and how to pick up where they left off. And we talked about what had happened, how it had affected this person, like I said, personally and professionally. And also, just because you're not alone in this, because we're not alone in this pandemic, it's not enough to say that because they feel alone. That may have happened to you. You have to allow the space to feel the feels. You have to be okay. And you personally have to get to the place where mentally you're okay picking up where you left off and being okay with admitting, hey, this shit shut me down. And I said that. a few months back. I was like, hey, even though I've been communicating, I haven't really been talking about and addressing the pandemic, the panDAMNIT, the vid, how it's affected me. I just kind of was going through the motions of here's my podcast, here's my Friday fun fact, here's blah. So, you have everyone's dealing with it differently. And looking at this now, I talked with this person about what they were doing, what their communication was like before, how often, why, what was your message, and the goal with the communication. And how does that serve you now? So again, with checking on your communication, thinking about that too. What is going on with your business and your life? How does your previous communication serve you now? Review it and get it right, like Cody said. And especially if as people we all know things have changed. And so you've got to let people know what and how things are different with you and your company. And this week, getting to Cody's third tip, which was to advertise, to take advantage of the discounts right now. As he said, his company leaned in and they took full advantage of lower prices and different opportunities to network and to communicate his message, to get the word out, to market. And I've seen a lot of people offering free trainings, webinars, discounts. I mean, hell, I offered my new business courses new online business courses for a discount, but that's not advertising. That's educating. I sure wish the grocery stores would offer a discount. But, looking at ways that you did or maybe were resistant to advertise to because they were too expensive, or you weren't sure if it was the right platform. Facebook, I read this article and Facebook ad prices dropped. So courses and online gaming were leaning in. They were advertising more because people were at home trolling Facebook. Admit it, we all were. And this article said, and it was an article from World Economic Forum in June of 2020, so a month or so, a couple months old, but 24% pushed back until they reduced the amount of advertising until the end of the second quarter. And then 46% said they were definitely adjusting their spending. So while other companies were cutting back, others were leaning in and taking advantage of it, of the reduced prices. And this article also said, this is what's mind-blowing, but not unexpected, that obviously the last 3 quarters of 2020 are expected to have a bigger impact than in 2008. And many countries, though, again, pivoting, many countries, government and healthcare companies are buying advertising to promote public health messages. I'm sure you've seen them. So damn near all of us, our advertising world has shifted. And this article said right now the environment is prime for direct response campaigns. So if that sounds good, or is that is part of what you need, a direct response campaign, now is the time. The pandemic has caused advertisers of all sizes to think about what they should do and how they should do things differently. Like me, I'm a solo entrepreneur. Cody, he is, but he's got a little staff going behind him. And, my client is talking about as she's doing all kinds of different forms of advertising, and she's an eye doctor. So and has 14 staff. So it really doesn't matter. Everybody, like I said, the government is leaning in and taking advantage of these opportunities. So as you continue to revamp your communication, now is the time to review and revamp your advertising, because that is part of communication, right? So if you're not a writer, or you're new to advertising, or you just want help figuring out what's best for you and your company, there's a lot of great webinars and things out there. I've done a lot of HubSpot, that's HubSpot, HubSpot's webinars, Constant Contact. Sometimes it's just a good refresher because I used to own a marketing firm, but I always had a writer that helped me. And my clients. So there are, there's people out there that write and are selling inexpensive social media messaging campaigns out there. So look for them. Check out Facebook advertising, Instagram advertising. There's all kinds of things with even Amazon. If you sell your products on Amazon, you can do some things there as well. So if you want personalized to you and more personal service, contact me or look into my friend Lorraine Ball with Round Peg. It's roundpeg.com. It's in Indiana. She's amazing, been doing writing. She has a staff. They write content. They help people figure out where to advertise. But right now is a great time, again, like Cody said, to continue revamping your communication. And then that feeds into your advertising. What are you going to do to tell the world, your prospective customers and your current customers, or maybe former customers, that you're different? What's different? What are you doing different? How are things different with you? And how can you help them? And the best thing I ever read is when you're looking at value and benefit, you're not just buying a vacuum, you're buying a healthier house, especially depending on what kind. We used to have a Rainbow. Man, that thing was an air filter, an air filter system, a vacuum, a carpet cleaner. It was amazing. So again, looking at what you're doing, what you're selling, and making sure you're looking at the value you're giving, the benefits you're selling. All right. So again, look into your advertising. Tell me what's changed and how has it affected you, or going forward. Let's review maybe in 30 days if you're just now changing things up with your advertising. Let's test it out and talk in about 30 days about what's changed and how it's helped. All right? Have a great week. Again, you can always reach me, sballard@growingforward.biz. Contact me. We'll do a free 30-minute call and we can schedule stuff. I can talk you through this because I've done a little bit here and there. And if I can't, I have a connection for you. I just want to help you get your ass back out there and do amazing things as we face the rest of 2020. All right. Have a great week. Cheers.